Hey nerds! Welcome to React.js Full Course 2025, powered by React 19 and packed with real projects. Whether you are a total beginner or just React curious, this course will take you from what is JSX to I just deployed a full stack app. No boring lectures, no fluff, just hands-on learning, nerdy jokes and front-end mastery. Let's turn noob into front-end warriors. But before we dive in, let me answer a burning question. Why this React series? What makes it different from the 7 million React tutorials already on YouTube? Here's the deal. Most tutorials either copy paste through the same boring to-do app, dumb concept only with zero context, or leaves you more confused than when you started. This course is different. It's beginner to advanced, no skipping fundamentals. It's project based. You will build stuff in every episode. It's fun. Yes, there will be jokes. And most importantly, I'll explain why we are doing this, not just how. So if you're tired watching React videos that feels like reading text document, hit the subscribe button and let's get this started. Before we touch the keyboard, let's answer the most important question. Why do we need React at all? Imagine building a website just with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Every time you want to update the UI, like adding a new item to a list or toggling dark mode, you need to manually update the DOM, track every piece of UI state yourself, worry about performance and page refreshes. It gets messy fast. That's where React comes in. React lets you build component-based UIs, manage state, and handle update efficiently, all without touching the DOM directly. React takes care of updating only what needs to be updated, making your code modular and reusable, keeping your app fast even as it grows. So basically, React is a JavaScript library for building user interface. It helps to create fast interactive websites. No page reloads. Every time you click in something, it gets reloaded. But why React 19 is a big deal? React 19 isn't just a new version. It's a major leap forward. What's new in React 19? A brand new compiler that auto-optimize your code. A magic feature called React Forget that removes unnecessary renders automatically. Massive improvements to form handling and actions. So, React 19 makes your app faster with less code and fewer bugs. Before we create a React app, we need to install Node.js. It gives us NPM, the package manager used to install React, Vite and others tools. So for that, let's download it. Go to nodejs.org and here click on get Node.js and here you have the versions list and the OS list. So whatever the OS you are using, just select from here. And here always select the LTS version. Okay. So I have selected 22 and for my Windows application. So here I'll click on Windows installer. It will download it and after the download it complete, just install it. And once installation is done, I have already installed it. That's what I'm not doing it again. So once the installation is done, just go your CMD and here check if it is installed properly. So for that run command node-version. It will show the node version. And also check the npm versions, npm-version. So it is showing version for both. So that tells us that we have installed it correctly. Now let's use Vite to create a modern React project. So for that we have to run a command npm create Vite at latest version. And here then we have to add our name. So for our project it will be React 19 course and then press enter. Then it's gonna ask which framework we're gonna use and then the language. So for in framework I'm gonna use React and in framework I'll be using JavaScript. And that's done. It has created a Vite project. So now let's go inside this project. So cd React 19 course and then I want to open this project in our VS Code. So for that code space dot and then press enter. It will open in the VS Code. So as you can see, it has the project and then I need to install it dependency. So for that I'll open the terminal and run command npm install. Meanwhile it's installing the dependency. So let's discuss why we have used Vite. So Vite has blazing fast dev servers, instant hard reloads, cleaner setup than create React app. Most people just say Vite is fast, But here's what is really happening behind the scene. Vite uses native ES module, which means your browser loads only the file it needs when it needed them. And it smartly leverage your browser's cache so it doesn't reload unchanged code every time you hit save. So instead of bundling your entire app upfront, like Create React app, Vite goes, oh, you changed just one component? Cool, I'll reload only that. Enjoy your coffee. So Vite is like a buffet. It brings food to your table only when you are ready to eat. Whether CRA is like banquet chef. They cook the entire menu even if you are just here for garlic bread. So result, dev server boots in milliseconds. HMR means hot mode reload is instant. Less waiting is equal to more bundling. So now let's understand our folder structure. Okay, so let's start from bottom. We have Vite config.js. So it is basically configuration for Vite. Think of it as your toolbox setting. Okay, control advanced stuff like alias, plugins, environment variables. Beginners usually don't need to touch it, but it becomes useful as your app grows. Okay, now come to the package.json. This is the brain of your project. It's like the blueprint or the checklist of your app. It tracks which package you have installed, React, Vite, etc. Okay, the script you can run here: npm run dev, npm run build, npm run lint, and whatever the script you will be writing here. Okay, it also have the app's metadata, name, version, and all. So whenever you install something, this file gets updated always. Now let's come to the index.html, the only one and only HTML file in this project. Okay, so this is like the empty stage where React performs. It has the div with ID root. That's where your whole React app gets injected from main.jsx. Okay, you rarely need to touch this, but it's crucial behind the scene. So if you want to update title and all, then all you need to make the changes here. Otherwise, don't touch. Now let's come into the git ignore. So it's basically keep your git repo clean. It's a bouncer that stops unnecessary files from getting tracked by Git. It typically ignores node modules, environment files, build folders. Why these files are either huge or auto-generated or sensitive, which we don't want in our build. Okay. Now here we have node modules, public and source. Okay. So in public, all the static stuff basically goes here. This is like your app's backpack. It holds items that don't change. Put things like images, fonts, and favicons. But important information here. Files here are served as is, meaning they are not processed by Vite or React. So you access them directly via / and their file name with extension. Okay. Now this is node modules folder where all the package and dependency lives in. This is your basically app's warehouse. It stores everything your app installs via npm. You never touch this manually, but it's where React, Vite, and other tools actually live. Just a warning, this folder can be huge, hundreds of MBs. Okay, so never upload it to GitHub. That's what the .git ignore is for. Now let's come to the source. It is where your actual app lives. Think of this as a kitchen where your app can cook the front end recipe. Okay, so now here in app.jsx, this is our main React component, the heart of basic UI. Everything you build, button, pages, component, everything will eventually connect back to this file. And here you have the CSS file. Basically the global CSS comes here, which you want to apply throughout the whole application. Just write the CSS over here. Okay. Now come to the main.jsx and let's understand it clearly. Okay. So here we have create root. Okay, create root. So it comes in new React 18 plus API for rendering apps. It tells React, hey, start rendering the app from here. Then we have document.getElement by ID with root. Okay. So here it finds the div in the index.html which has the ID of root. So here we have already seen, right? We have the div with ID root. So it finds these divs. and then it have the dot render method. So it actually mounts your UI starting from app.jsx into the browser window. And then we have the strict mode over here. So basically it is a wrapper that only works in development. It helps catch bugs and warns you about mistake early, but it doesn't affect in production, so don't worry about it. So understanding this main.jsx is basically knowing how your React app gets started, not just writing code blindly. Okay. So now let's run our application. So for that, let's check what we have the command over here in the package.json. We have dev command. Okay. So for that, what we have to do, just run npm run dev, and it will start our application in this port by default 5173. So let's copy it, and here, as you can see, it is already running in the port 5173. So you have successfully run your first React 19 application by using command npm run dev. But let's understand what is happening behind the scene when you run npm dev. Okay. So what initially happens, Vite reads this vite-config.js for your app setups. Okay. Then it loads index.html, and in this index.html, it injects the app component. Okay. And then once it injects our app.jsx through the main JSX basically, then it starts blazing fast dev servers on the by default localhost port 5173. Instant hot reloads when any file changes. So let's see that. So now let's go to app.jsx and just change here in p tag updated text and just save it, and now check if it has updated or not. So see, here it has showing the updated text. So that means it is instantly doing the hot reloads. So that's it. Recap time. What we have covered in this episode. First, why React is essential for modern front-end devs. What makes React 19 such a game changer? Then we have learned installing Node.js, Vite and React 19. Then we have understood the folder structure like a pro. And at last, we have run our first React app. So if this helped you, hit subscribe for more epic content is on the way. It smells like harder than the merge conflicts. Comment your favorite React feature below.